illness in the Indian elderly population or depression, dementia, and anxiety disorders. Resources available to cater to the needs of elderly in the country or government and private psychiatric hospital, non-governmental organizations, and the family as caregivers. Lack of awareness, inadequate training opportunities, inequitable distribution of health resources, and virtual absence of chronic care disease models are the challenges that confound the future of geriatric psychiatry in India. Government policies providing social benefits to the elderly population are in place, but coverage is inadequate. For addressing geriatric mental health issues, the need of the hour is to increase awareness, capacity building, strengthening training, and research activities, developing community-based rehabilitation programs, and developing a holistic primary health care system. With this aim, the faculty of MTIN have organized this webinar. Indeed, today is a great day for me that I have this prestige to introduce Professor Nasrin Rustamprom as a speaker of the day. Professor Rustamprom holds a doctoral degree from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, India. Her area of study was management of human service organizations, having completed her post-graduation in social work from the same institution. She has worked for 42 years since 1977, beginning her career with an NGO for 7 years before joining the Tata Institute of Social Science in 1985. Throughout her career, Professor Rustam has been guided by value of people's struggles, social equality, and secularism. During her period in academic from 1985 to 2020, Professor Rustam has been associated with adult learning, curriculum building, designing training, and capacity building program for the social, corporate, and public sector domains. Her substantive areas have been community health, educational, technology, gerontology, and social aspects of geriatric care, leadership program for women, mental health, organizational behavior, and people skills. I am very, very happy that I got this opportunity to welcome Professor to lecture on this webinar on psychological and emotional issues of senior citizen in India. Welcome, ma'am. You can start. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Homa. Thank you for your kind introduction. I'm very happy to be back for the second Monday, and I hope that most of you were there last time, and some things will then, strike you once again, because there are some of the points that we had mentioned last time. But in this Monday, in this session, we are going to mention these points from the point of view of mental health, social and psychological well-being, as we have said. Whereas last time we mainly dealt with the subject from the demographic angle. And last time we also looked at what we said was the social reality. So we looked at all the aspects in the context, actually, like we say in Hindi, the sandarbh, the context of what how do our elderly live in this society, in this country. And today, taking that as a foundation, taking that as a basis, we are going to start talking about what then are the issues of mental health that are faced by the elderly in our country, given the context that we discussed last time. So I will begin my screen sharing. And the first thing that I want to share with you is a little bit of a review from last time, and some new issues are also coming up. So the aging scene in India, the first thing that we talked about, the first thing that we talk about today is the changing family. But last time also we mentioned it in terms of that nuclear families are increasing, and urbanization is increasing, and the joint family system is relatively on the decline. But even so, majority of families in our country continue to live in the joint family, especially in the rural areas. Now, gender issues is something that we looked at, the second point for today. We looked at in detail last time when we said that it's mostly women who live longer than men. So, there are more widows in the country and in the elderly scene than there are widowers. The third point that we quickly talk about today is the high rate of dependence, which also we discussed last time in terms of that the population below 15 and the population below 60 is going to become almost equal by 2050. It means the people in the working age, from the age of say about 15 or 18 up to 59, uh, the dependency on this working population in the economy is going to increase. The fourth point today that we talk about is poverty and economic issues. We all know that in the country, there are a very large number of what we refer to as the below poverty line section of society. And those who are below the poverty line, when you look at the elderly group, a disproportionate number of elderly are actually falling in the below poverty line group, and there is very little social security, which we talked about last time. The Indira Gandhi Women's Pension Yojana, which is shared between the center and the state, provides only 200 rupees per individual from the side of the center, and the state is expected to supplement at least another 200, or if they can afford it, even more. So we have some states like Delhi, Kerala, Goa, who are actually even giving up to 2000 rupees a month. Though they get only 200 rupees from the center, the remaining 1800 comes from the state. However, there are states like Rajasthan where they are giving only the 200 rupees, they are not even adding 200 rupees from their side. So now you can imagine, just as this I gave as an example to say what is the level of poverty amongst elderly in our country, and particularly elderly women. The fifth point that we look at today in the aging scene is illiteracy. We expanded on this considerably last time, and we took an example to see how those who did not get education during the 1960s and 70s are the elderly of today who are illiterate. No doubt, gradually this number will decrease and more elderly will be in the educated category, especially from the 1990s, because the level of literacy